Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I think this is all working. But yeah, welcome to the next live stream. We're going to be jumping into more We Few Survivors Part 2. As you can see, I am sitting down today instead of standing. Why are you sitting down, instead of sitting down? Well, I'll tell you, imaginary voice. There is a special place reserved in hell for whoever designed this chair. This is a new chair that I bought in an effort to support my back. For those of you that don't know, a couple years ago I had a pretty bad back injury which set me back, and so I have to be very particular about the way I sit to take pressure off of the bulging disc in my lower spine. And this is, now don't get me wrong, now that it's built it's good, but oh my days. Hello. Hi, Peter. Hi. Welcome. This chat is huge. How have I broken it? There we go. That felt so intense. Hang on. Let me why is it set to old school? There we go. On another spare account. Alright. Spare account queen. Or king, or whatever. There we go. Sorry. Can you tell I'm not used to this? But yeah, so literally took like an hour to fix this chair. You would have thought I was a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The holds I had this chair in just to make these little screws actually go on it. Oh my days. It just, yeah, it was. So that's why I'm sitting down, because I'm tired. I am tired. So I was like, you know what, we're going to sit down today. But I do thoroughly suggest that you guys try and stand sometimes when working. Like if you're on a laptop or something like that, try and find like a shelf or something, or a stand. Hello. Hey, Fia. Because it is really good. So I'm trying to do more standing, but I'm just tired. Anyway, we're going to be jumping into some cool stuff today. We're going to be doing more of what we did last time. So we did some textures for some of the metahuman characters. I need to finalize those. I've been really busy, so I've just not had time to finalize that. So we need to go through and finish that for some of the characters. And then we're also going to dive into some environment stuff, which is going to be fun. We're going to be working with some different lighting and trying to finalize this look. So I figured, let's start with something new. Let's just jump right into doing the environments, because that's something new, a bit more fresh, rather than just doing the metahuman stuff again. And then we'll come back to the metahumans at a later date. But let me just show my screen. So this is one of the environments that we have for this piece. I'm going to stop piloting this camera. So this is one of the environments that we have for this piece. Hang on a second. Why is that? There we go. And essentially, I am confusion. Okay, here we go. So essentially what I want to do is I want to jump into this and just kind of figure out lighting wise, what we want this to look like. So one of the things that I am not particularly happy with right now is just how flat everything is. So one of the main issues is like, yes, this looks so yes, this looks cool, but like if I come to one of our characters, you can see that the lighting's quite flat, and we want a bit more direction. So I'm trying to essentially work my way through things and just get things looking a little nicer, looking a little prettier. And we have some great reference. I don't know what's going. Is it my post-process? It might be my post-process. Why have I got two? Is it this? Is this colliding with it? No, this is my lighting. This is what's doing my lighting. Okay. Yeah, this was... Okay, this was something that happened last time, and I was... When I was working on it last, there was something clashing. Something clashing with the post-process. But let's go just regular settings there. And then let's jump to our post-process volume, which is controlling everything. See, that doesn't. Okay. Let's, there we go. Sorry guys, bit rusty, trying to figure out. Okay, there we go, that looks better. Essentially, I've got there's this great piece of software called PureF. And see you, mate. Thank you for dropping in. So there's this really cool piece of software called PureF. And it allows you to, it's just great for creating big mood boards essentially. But what I've got here is, I've got this photo from the second game, and I like how it looks, and I kind of want to create my own version of it. And so I'm essentially just going to play around with a few different settings here in the, I hate how it opens all the folders. There we go. And we're just going to play around with some of these different things and try and... So we've got fog set. Okay. All right. We need to figure out what is causing this. I might just... Is it this? Why is there a volumetric cloud? There's something happening where this is clashing. I don't know what it is. Is it that? This is part of it, guys. You got to do some troubleshooting, but something is clashing with my setup, and it's really annoying me. And so we're gonna figure out what the hell it is. Ultra dynamic sky. This is our blueprint. We're gonna come into our blueprint. We're gonna drop our ultra dynamic sky. Okay, so it looks all right, and yep, looks okay. I'm just gonna start from scratch. Something was, I don't know what was happening, but something was not playing nice. Is it? Set priority. I don't know, something crazy. Cool. All right, let's now play around with this. So first off, let's play with the sun. Even though, so we're going to go for an overcast look. If you saw in this PureF, there's a bit of an overcast look going on here, but that doesn't mean we need to establish where the sun is. So typically what you might notice in films is they do a lot of backlighting, and the reason they do a lot of backlighting is it just looks nice. If I go front on, it's a little harsh, right? It feels just a little intense. So I typically find that going with backlighting looks best. Now, when it comes to environments, I like to kind of have it as going across the camera. So you get these shadows and then you get these highlights. It looks a lot more interesting than if I do something like that. Although that still kind of looks cool. Or that, where it's just enveloped in shadow. So let's hide these for now. These are just to help me with creating shadows. Something called a blackboard. Okay, cool. All right, let's now find out where has our sun. All right, we need to get rid of the clouds because they're getting in the way. I can't see where my sun is. Days, come on, where are you? Oh, there you are. So yeah, so it is backlit. It is backlit. Hey mate, how you going? Thank you for taking the time to jump in and hang out. Yeah, these live streams are pretty chill usually. We just kind of hang out, listen to some tunes and work on stuff, and people come and go as they please. So yeah. All right. We need to reduce the pitch. This is way too high up in the sky for me. Where are we now? We're over there. Why is it so damn bright? There we go. I just couldn't see it. It's just clipping. And it's like, alright, there we go. That's better. And then something like that. And what's that look like? So it looks like that, which isn't great. This is where the trial and error comes in. We want... Nice, mate. Yeah, no, I'm the same. Being able to watch others work on stuff, it activates the competitiveness in me. Do you know what? I actually think I'm going to go back on what I said, and I'm going to say that actually I want that there, because narratively we want this area to be lit up, because it's the focus. And nice. Okay. Let's... Maybe it is the camera. It might be the camera doing stuff. So what happens if I just... turn all that off, so the camera's not doing anything, and only the post-process is now doing things. Cool. Post-process volume is doing an exposure compensation of 2, which I don't like. Actually, let's just keep it like that for now, and we will reduce it as we begin to work on this. So we've got a position of our sun, so now we're going to bring in the cloud coverage, and what it's going to do is it's just going to massively diffuse that light. So if I remove all clouds, you see how really harsh it is, and then if I increase it to something crazy like 10, you lose all light, and it doesn't look that great. So I want to find like a nice middle ground. So again, let's look back at our reference. This is our reference. This is kind of the direction I want to... Now, I don't want to just straight up copy it. I want to bring my own flavor to it. But this is the kind of direction that I want to go in, because I just think it looks cool. We're also going to increase the fog. And we're going to just keep bringing it up until it appears. So around the 7 mark is when you can start to see it in the distance. Let's turn on volumetric fog. There we go. That looks better. Volumetric fog actually has volume, and so it actually gets thicker as things fall off, which is what you want. Otherwise, it can... So if I remove all the fog, you kind of lose all sense of depth and how far away things are. So if I increase it, and I only want to increase it slightly, I don't want it to be distracting, because I could do something like this, like it was before, but if it's the wrong mood, it's the wrong mood for this sequence. So we're going to reduce it to something like a value of 6. That is definitely looking better. We're going to come back to our post-process volume, and we're going to change the color grading, because I think last time I touched this, I changed the color grading to be a bit more on the blue side, and I don't like that. So I need to find... Is it the gamma? No. Oh, it is the gamma. No, the gamma's in the green. So where have I... No, that all looks fine. We're going to leave the saturate. We're going to turn that off. Keep the contrast. I'm happy with the contrast. I like... Reduce it slightly, though. Oh, I'm doing something in the gain. What am I doing? Oh, it's... Okay. That's the issue. You know what? We're going to drop it. So now we just have that subtle green being pushed by the gamma, which is also helping add a bit more contrast into the scene, which is what we like. And I need to fix my posture. I'm like leaning over. There we go. Which means now I need to fix this. Hell yeah, I'm a professional. I do this. Oh, no, I don't. What am I kidding? I don't. Okay. Right. This is looking a lot better now. Some of the stuff that's also playing a part is these lights. So I've got these lights that are hidden that you can see are causing these highlights that you are seeing. And it's it's what they do a lot, because especially in overcast, when you have overcast, it means the light's really diffuse, and so you lose a lot of those kind of highlights around characters to separate them from stuff in the background. So this can be quite useful to bring that back. Though one of these is not playing nice. Yeah, it's this guy. What are you doing? You need to... There we go. Cool. What are you even lighting? Oh, you're lighting that. And then this is why we have these blackboards. So what these are great for is for removing bounce light. So you might have seen a lot of actors, they have those whiteboards. Not the ones from school, but the ones that they will have to just bounce light back at the actor so that it just fills out and there's a little less contrast. But I want contrast because I'm not Netflix and I like shadow. Bring back shadows, guys. So you can see all that alone. It's really subtle, but look at this tree, for example. This is the most obvious, but you can also see it here. You can see it a little bit here, and you can see it a little bit here. But watch what happens. Look at that. It's pretty cool. Now you might be going, wait, hang on, what's happened? All of a sudden, the sun's really directional. Well, that's because if I... Wow, what just happened? If I come out of this camera, So this is our sky. So these clouds are actually moving. Can you see? These clouds are moving. Now, in some situations, you want that. This is a game engine, so the clouds are moving, which is cool, but it's not what we want. Because what it does is it causes situations like this where the lighting suddenly changes, and you don't really want that. We don't really want that. So how can we remove that? Well, we come to our ultra dynamic skies. We're going to come to our clouds, and there is a slider here for movement. Just have to find it. They hide it deep underground for no one to find. Okay, how about that? There we go. Cloud speed. So if I set the speed to 0, so now clouds aren't going to move at all. But look, I can also now go through phases and change anything, really. Like, it's pretty cool. So that's good, because there's a little bit of direction. So where's the sun? So you see, so the sun's here and it's getting covered a little bit. If I set it to 5, now the cloud's completely covering it. So this is really useful for, let's say, I mean, I won't give anything away, but for this shot specifically, I want a little bit more direction. I want a little bit more of light coming through, because this is meant to be kind of this sweet moment of beauty and kind of in awe of something. I won't give it away. You know, we can get the vegetation kind of blowing in the wind, and you can't get that when it's really moody. But then there's a bit later on where we need it to shift to something a bit more moody, and so for that I can come in and I can do something like that, make it a little darker. I can even remove some of these lights to make it less directional and just refine things more and more. So this is a lot better now. Let's have a look at let's stop piloting, and I'm just gonna come here. I'm just gonna see what it looks like here. Yeah, so for example here, I'm like, it feels a little too directional. I mean, look, the sun's right there. In fact, actually, do you know what that sun's missing? It's missing a lens flare. Let's turn that lens flare on. You see it? It's really subtle, but it's good. I mean, pretty subtle. You see it? Maybe if I come here, can you see it there? Pretty cool. And it just will always come from the sun now, which is pretty sick. So if I want any shots maybe of looking up at the sun, so let's say maybe I want something like this, where we have some of the vegetation kind of in the background. You can do something like this. Maybe it's a bit of a longer lens with a bit of slow movement. We have that cool dynamic lens flare moving with our sun, which is really cool. Yeah, this is much better now. Now, ultimately, shot by shot, we're going to have to adjust things, because you never just use blanket lighting, right? If bit of a Samster tip here, if you want your lighting to look incredible, you're going to have different light rigs for individual shots. You cannot just set up a sun like this, put some clouds in your scene, and call it a day and go, yep, that's my lighting. You're gonna have to use lights that in the real world make no sense that there would be a light there, but you use movie magic to add subtle highlights, subtle fillers, add more shadow in certain areas to sculpt your shot, right? Because right now, for example, if I had a front-on shot here of our character, this doesn't look like, it looks cool, but this doesn't look very like there's a lot of shadow. Like there's not a lot of shadow. It's very flat lighting, okay, and so it doesn't feel interesting. So what I could do to try and make it look a little more interesting is, I think I have a light here that's doing something, yeah. And so what I can also do is I can bring in a cube that is like a black box and kind of do this, and immediately I've added more interest to the shot. The shot is immediately more interesting. Without it, see how quite flat the lighting looks? And then if I bring back that box, it's off camera. It's not going to be visible to the camera. No one's going to know it's there other than you working on your film. But it's doing something, and what it's doing is it's adding contrast. Lighting isn't just about lighting things, guys. It's also about creating shadows. And I feel like that's missed a lot nowadays, especially with like Netflix films where all the lighting's perfect and flat. And I can't stand it when I see it. It drives me insane. I'm like, bro, just bring back some shadows, please. Please. Oh, Farah, welcome. Glad you can make it to the live stream. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, rant over. But just bring back shadows, guys. Bring back shadows and contrast in films, man. It makes a scene interesting. We don't have to see everything in the shot. It's okay for things to be enveloped in shadow. It's okay. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah. I've refined her look a little. Can't tell if this... Oh, it is visible. I mean, it's very subtle. You see the sweat on her. It's just ever so slightly. But yeah, metahumans are sick, man. Look at the detail on this. Like, if I jump into this camera, for example, this is... Like, look at that. Look at the detail. Pretty sick. Metahumans, man. But then look what happens when I remove that. Now, I will say for this particular shot, I actually I would make this less intense, because you see how we're actually getting like light getting cast through on the leaves, and it's like just some interesting detail that we're seeing here of noise. Just adds something to the shot. It's more to the shot, and I actually quite like that. And for this close-up, her hair is causing quite a nice vignette, so I'm not too concerned about adding even more shadow. Right now, for some shots this is totally a look, but for some other shots you might want this. To be honest, I might, in my preference, I'd want to find an in-between. So right now, the material of this is set to quite dark. So what I could do is I could just come in here and increase it to something a little less intense. Let's see what that does, if anything. Okay, yeah. So that brought a little bit of a lift. It's subtle, very subtle. But see, it's just a little less intense now, what it's doing. Now, granted, it is visible in her reflection. So this is where I'd have to be smart and try and hide it in some way that it's not visible in the reflection of her eye. But this is all just movie tricks. So it depends on what it is you want for your look, for your film. And for me, I like a bit of contrast, a little bit of grunge. I like things to not feel perfectly lit. I like things to feel like someone just grabbed a camera and started filming, and they didn't have $50 million of lighting to set up. So, yeah. All right. I think, albeit, I'm pretty happy with how the lighting looks overall. Now, granted, there will be shots where I might want to change things about this. It feels like just enough. And again, I'll be using those tricks of having some spotlights, having some black boxes, bounce light, different things like this, which can all play together to add more contrast, add more interest into the shot, because right now this is quite flat. Looks cool, but it's a little flat. So, but those tweaks are not things I can do until I start working on shots. Realistically, those are not things I'm going to be able to do until I jump into shots, and I have not done that yet because I want to prep all my assets before I get into it. I'm also quite proud of this river. Look, I think it looks quite cool. And it goes on as well. It keeps going. Let's find the origin. Yeah, it starts to break a bit here because I haven't cleaned it up, but just a random spawn point. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just like a giant spline that goes throughout the environment, and then comes down here and joins this lake, which is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool setup as well, I think. It's quite interesting. And it comes with a pretty cool post-process for underwater as well. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. It's my ADHD. Yeah, okay. I am satisfied with this. The lighting of this environment will change later on. But I'm a bit more pleased with how this looks. Let's look at the pure ref again. So again here, see how there's like a lot more shadow. There's a lot more darkness. And I'd imagine that the way that they are achieving this is by having boxes. And you don't just need boxes like off screen to the side. You can also have them above. So if I was to do this practically, there's a light. If I was to do this in my scene, there's a light here that's probably over here and just aiming it right at her. And then they've got some boxes above her causing shadow here and behind her, but then they don't have them in the back, which is why you're getting these cool highlights. And then they've probably got another one off to the left, which is helping with the shadows over here. And I can't do that until I start doing shots. So for a blanket lighting, I am happy with this. I think this is fairly decent, all things considering. Let's bring this back, and that's without the black box, quite flat, and then that's with it. Just adds a little more contrast, just makes it a little more interesting, which is what we want. Okay, because the idea is this is early morning. This is where it's set, early morning. Okay, cool. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make a different version of this environment. So we are going to duplicate, and we're going to name this Night Time. Can you guess what the lighting's going to be? Cool. All right, now for this one, this is for the opening shot of the movie, and so I'm not as concerned about this stuff. We just need to find an area, because this forest is actually procedurally generated, which is quite cool. So basically you set up, it's a complex way, but you essentially set up all the rules, like trees can only spawn in these areas, stones can only spawn in these areas, and you set up all these rules, and then you are able to simulate it, and it creates the world, and then you have to refine things to make things actually look good. But it's pretty sick. And I am just right now, I'm digitally looking for a location that I like the look of for a particular scene at the beginning of the film, and I feel like one of these clearings is gonna be where it happens. It's just not perfectly flat, and that, which I don't need it to be perfectly flat, but I don't want it to be too obvious that they're on a bit of a slant. So what I might do actually is hide the forest. Aha! And then if we bring it back, there we go. That looks quite interesting. You got some puddles as well. Actually looks quite nice. This is a great, yeah, this is great. We'll just do it here. This works quite well for the setup, and it gives us some interesting foreground elements to work with. Okay, so we need, yes, this is 5.6. This is Unreal Engine 5.6. I'm not upgrading to 5.7 because they have pushed their new material system in 5.7 called Substrate, and whenever I've used Substrate, I've encountered really bad issues with it. So I kind of, just for the safety of the project, I do not want to move up to 5.7, because once you move up to 5.7 you can't revert a project. So I don't want to risk that and break what I've got, because I'm quite happy with this. It has everything I need. Yeah, because I also need to think contextually, because there is a part where one of our characters comes up to a tree and kind of hides behind it and peeks around. So this actually might work quite well. Alright, we're going to come into our landscape. And we're going to come here to paint. And got dirt. Paint a bit of dirt here and just try and, there we go, get rid of these twigs. I don't mind a little bit, but just things that might actually get in the way of like the structure and the logic. This makes sense. Runs up here, peeks around, sees it going on here, comes back around. Yeah. Go away, branch. No, go away. No. Que puta. Cabron. There we go. That's better. Cool. Happy with that. It's quite cool that it spawns all these little details. Now, they don't stand up. Like, if I zoom in proper, you can, like, things start to break. But that's okay, because we're not going to have any shots like that. So we don't need to worry. Okay. Do I have a fire? Do I have a fireplace? I can't remember if I brought in... No, I don't think I did. No, I didn't. That's okay. We've got a mega scan. A pretty cool 3D scan of a... I go to my library and go campfire. Oh. Fire. Yeah. Mega scans. Let's go to Quixel. Fireplace? So there's a campfire, but there is another one. I swear there's another one that I've used. I literally used it in the first film. And it is not this one, because this doesn't match texture-wise. I mean, I could make it match. Yeah, I could make it match. Okay, we'll add it just in case I can't find the other one. Go away. Yeah, we're going to be creating a nighttime sequence. We're going to be setting up a fireplace that is our only source of light, and just kind of dropping in some characters to see what the lighting looks like on them. Kind of just refining it, pushing it to a level that I'm happy with, and then we will move on to some more texture work. We're going to finish up those metahuman textures, and then we'll move on to something else. Because there is another part of this environment that I still need to do, so we could jump into that as well. Don't you break, don't you crash. Come on, come on, come on. Anyway, that's importing. So let's try and find this other one. Okay, it's imported. Did I scroll past it? No. Maybe if I just type in fire. There. Campfire. I typed in campfire and this didn't appear. Oh my days. Unbelievable. Well, let's see what this one looks like. Let's see. Let's just, you know what? Why not? Let's just see what this looks like. I don't know. Doesn't blend. I think we're gonna need to. What did the other one look like? Yeah. I think my criticism of this fire is it looks a little too established. And the idea here is was a kind of like last minute thought of a fire. This isn't, like, narratively, this isn't an established campsite. And this feels more messy. I just need to adjust the material. So let's jump into the material and let's have a look at what we can do to make this thing feel a little more part of. Let's put a bit of what's that doing? It's doing quite a lot. And to be fair, once it's dark, that might not be as noticeable. Maybe if I drop the saturation a little. No, that's too much. That looks a little better. Yeah, that looks a little better. Let's leave it like that for now, and we will develop things a little further. See what they end up looking like. quite... There we go. Cool. Let's bring in one of our characters. Just so we get an idea of scale. So this is the younger version of Laura. Who is our one of our characters. Oh, thank you. Someone just... Okay, that kind of scared the shit out of me. I did it. Have I got that set up where it does that? All right, I guess I do. Oh, that got me. Cool. Oh, thank you, Nicola, for subscribing. Oh, that made me jump, man. That's funny. Okay. Let's do this. Cool. All right, we're gonna jump into our ultra dynamic sky and be like, oh, how do we make it nighttime? Do we fake it with a blue light? No, no, no. Check this out. So we're gonna remove all of our clouds. So it just looks like this, and then time of day, baby. Oh yeah. And it's nighttime. It is pitch black though. I cannot see a thing. So let's establish. So if you hit Control and then any number at the top of your keyboard, you add a bookmark. And essentially what that means is I can fly all the way over here and be like, ah, crap, where was my scene? It's okay. I can just hit 1 and I jump. If I want one up here, maybe I can hit Control and then 2. And so now I can jump to 1, and then if I want to go to 2, I can go to 2. And it's quite useful. It is pitch black. Damn. Okay, let's add a light. This is not going to be our actual lighting because this is very bright. But this is what we'll start with, and we will refine as we go. So something like that. Let's increase the source radius to add a bit more, just a subtle hint of soft. She is glowing. Oh. Oh. So let's drop this quite a lot. Something more like something even more. Actually, something like that. And then now, yes, let's say we have our fire. I could do this and try and find a color that feels like a fire, right? That looks kind of nice. That feels like a fire. The issue, however, with doing it this way is it's not actually, it's not physically correct with how lights behave because I'm picking a color. What actually happens is you need to use the temperature scale. If you want your lighting to feel natural, always, you want to stay away from colored lighting and stick to just this slider. So you can, if I higher the Kelvin, colder it is, lower, warmer. So let's do like 2300. That feels a little bit too intense. So let's drop it to 25. That feels a little too yellow. So let's do something like this. 2400. That kind of feels like a fire kind of light. I might increase. So you can do this thing called volume. Actually, no, we're going to kill that. There's something called volumetric scattering, and basically, the more powerful this is, the more your light is going to interact with fog. So I can jump this up to something crazy like 50. And whoa, that does not look good. So I prefer, if it's a legit source of light that's going to be on camera all the time, and it's something like a fire, then you can keep the volumetric scattering. If it's like an invisible light, so for example, if I like had a light over here that maybe I am just using artistically to try and light her in a more interesting way, you want to kill that. Because if you'll notice, if I bring it back, it's like a value like that. See, you can actually see, I can see where the light is. And that's not good, because that's distracting. I'm like, well, what's that? This is floating orb. What's going on here? And you don't want that. So I would drop it to 0. And now it's just invisible, right? Albeit, this is not at all what lighting behaves like at nighttime. So we're not going to have a light like that. Which does make it tricky, right? Because you're thinking, oh, I want to make this lighting interesting. And it can get a little hard because we want it to feel realistic, which is something like this. And I want the detail on her face to be seen. So this is already looks kind of cool, right? As a setting, this looks quite cool. You've got and that feels like fire. Now, once it starts flickering, that'll be the next level, right? And so what I want to do here, for example, is I want to add some spotlights, because this is something called a point light. And point lights are great, but they emit light in all directions. So if I put it like you saw behind her, I could use it as like this other source of light. I could remove the volumetric scattering, but the issue is it's hitting here, it's hitting here, it's hitting here, it's hitting the floor, and you're like, hang on, it's going to be distracting, and it's not realistic to how lighting behaves in this kind of situation. So what do I like to do? Well, I like to come and use a spotlight. Spotlights are great because you can control in one singular direction where your light is. So I can do something like this. I mean, we've got to avoid those branches. So let's do something like this. And then we can also reduce the angle of our cone so that we're only hitting her. Now, on wider shots, you would then have to refine this even further because you're seeing this weird spot of light on the ground. But for example, a shot like this, we're starting to get somewhere. Now, it's still too distracting, especially on her hair. It's one of the more frustrating things about metahumans is the way that their hair behaves with just with the light. It just, with spotlights, it just kind of behaves a bit weirdly. So I might actually, to try and even it out, I might do something like this. Let's do a check bookmark there. So we've got this angle and we've got this angle. So this is already adding something a little more interesting to it, right? We're starting to get those highlights behind her, on her arm, on her hair, and it's separating her from the background, right? Because without it, this is our only source of light. And yes, realistically, this is the lighting that you would have. You wouldn't have really much bounce light going on. However, it's nighttime. There's a big moon in the sky. We can use that to our advantage to try and add some sort of rim light to our character to just make it a little more interesting. Just a little. We don't want it to be distracting. We don't want people going, hey, what's this? What, is there a light over here? We don't want that. But then what we can do is we can increase this so it's a much cooler, which also is interesting because now this is kind of playing with this light, and I actually think I'm going to drop it even more. So it's really subtle. Actually, no, I quite like it. Because let's just find a more interesting angle. Let's find one of our cameras, actually. Let's find one of our cameras. Let's find our let's find our 85mm, and we're going to pilot, and we're gonna do this. We're just gonna find a cool angle just as a test. And I like to do this just as a test, and if I know that it works, then I know that, because this isn't actually going to be a shot, she's not actually going to be standing there, there's going to be specific places where she stands, but this is useful information for me to then go, okay, I know this environment works, I know the lighting ideas that I have for this environment works, and so I can just move forward knowing that when I come to this sequence, I know how to do the lighting and I know how to make it look good. So this is our setup. Let's come back to our camera, and we're going to find the depth of field. We're going to draw, debug, focus, and we're going to find where she is. Something like that. Cool. So this looks quite nice, and like, again, it's subtle, but if I remove, where is that spotlight, by the way? There it is. So if I remove this spotlight, we kind of lose everything. It's so dark, we kind of lose everything. We lose a lot of detail, and it just looks a bit boring. But then I do that, and it just separates her a little more from the shot, especially when she's doing a pose, we're doing some more dynamic shots. We've got the flickering of the light in front of her. It just makes things look a little more interesting, a little more exciting. And so, yeah, this is pretty cool. We're gonna kill these, and we're gonna kill these, and gonna kill this, because this is a different environment, and we don't need these things. You can even control the wind, which is pretty sick. So it means that if there's certain shots where I'm like, I would like the leaves to be more obviously blowing in the wind, I can just play with this stuff. It's pretty cool. Let's stop piloting. Let's come back to our shot. Let's find our 50mm, and we're going to pilot, and we're gonna get to this, and we're just gonna do something like that. And we're gonna do the exact same with what we just did. So our focus is all the way over there. So let's bring our focus back to here. Nice. So now she's in focus. What is our post-process doing? Let's see what our post-process volume is doing. I see. Our post-process is actually doing quite a lot. So we might actually even come in here and calm things down a bit. I kind of like that. I think that's what we want to turn off. Kind of like the extra contrast that we're getting. No, I think it's a bit too much. You can always make it more or less later down the line, because color grading is its own thing. It's not really doing much now. So what we might do is bring this back to here. Oh, I see. It was adding the green. Well, we don't want green in this bit. This is more of a... Whoa, trippy. Sorry, getting distracted. Yeah, that's too distracting. Is that actually doing anything? It's doing a little something. I think we'll kill it though. Just adding a subtle bit of, and then oh, I was that's what that was doing. Because our post-process for this sequence is going to naturally be different to the other sequence. So I just want to make sure that I'm not shooting myself in the foot and setting anything up in my post-process volume that I'm going to regret later on. Can't really do any kind of blue because it makes it go a weird color. Yeah, we're just gonna reset that and turn that off, and then okay. Yeah, that looks better. Not doing much. It's very subtle, but it's good. It's good. Cool. All right, let's add some fire. Fuego. Fuego, Mr. Forti. If any of you know that reference. Some fire. Wait, what? Fire VDBs. Fire effect. Is this the one? I think this is the one. This is the one for now. Drag and drop this. Because this is cool, but the issue with this fire is that, as you can see, whichever way I look, see how it follows, and the moment I look down, it breaks. That's not great. That's not really what we want. So this is more placeholder, if anything, just to inform me of. That's a huge fire. What does this look like? Just gonna have a look through. Bloody hell, these fires are crazy. Woo! That feels a little nicer. Feels a bit more realistic. It's a little on the wide side. Whoa! It's kind of fun, just going through. That looks kind of nice. That looks like a fire that I would see. Yeah. Just a little. This is the other thing I remember about these fires is scaling them doesn't do anything. Yeah. That always annoyed me. Is there a way I can... It's rendering it on this sprite. So it's usually in initialize position. Aha! Gotcha, bitch. I've learnt more since we last encountered. Nice. Okay, that's better. It's a little smaller, a little more subtle. Still doesn't look great. It's this... I just hate how it does this, like, facing... Let's see if I can turn this off. This facing wherever I am. I don't like it. I do not like it. I want to see if there's a way that I can turn it off. I keep naturally doing this. I don't know why. No wonder I have a bad back. I need to work on my posture. There's something inside of here that is causing it to face wherever I am. And I was shown it once, and now I've forgotten where it is. Oh, here we go. Facing camera. Face camera plane, face camera position, face camera. What if I just set it to automatic? What does that do? That does nothing. That does nothing. Okay, that's all right. What does that look like? Yeah, it's better. Not the best, but it's better. Let's play around with the bloom. You can set it something ridiculous. Oh no, I remember what happens when you do that. So we're not going to do that. Is it glowing? Not really. Where's the glow? There it is. Is it more? Oh, it's glowing a lot more here. Why wasn't it? I don't like that though. I don't like how it lifts everything. Okay, there we go. That's better. There's no threshold. That kind of looks better. But it's very subtle. But it does look better. Let's see what it looks like inside of the camera, because that ultimately that's what's important. Is like, what does this look like in the camera, guys? That looks pretty cool. It's a little bit actually on the intense side, so we're gonna half that. So that's interesting. That's without. That's with it. It's very subtle, but it is helping. It's just making it a little more interesting. I'm not too concerned about adding tons of bloom here because or glow, because ultimately we're going to be adding a lot more glow in once everything's rendered and we're inside of DaVinci or inside of Nuke. I plan on, I'm probably going to annoy some of my friends that are better at Nuke than me, but at first I'm going to try and give it a go myself, but I'm going to try and create a custom script for Nuke that basically allows me to feed these shots through Nuke, and it will be able to read things like what are the brightest spots on the screen and appropriately add bloom and glow and film grain and vignetting and chromatic aberration. And it's fine if you don't know what any of those words mean, but essentially I want to have a post-processing inside of Nuke that I can feed all my shots through once I render to just push them to the next level. Originally I did it all inside of DaVinci, but since doing the first Wii Few Survivors, I've learnt a lot with Nuke, and I am a believer now of how powerful that software is. It is so incredibly powerful, and so I want to give it a go, basically. So we'll see what happens, what I can make of it. Okay, this is looking a lot better. Now, what we're missing are some stones or logs and stuff for people to sit on, because there is a character that is sitting on a log of sorts with some stones next to them. So actually, before I do any of that, in terms of trying to find one in the Fab Marketplace, I think I'm going to try and see if I can find one in here in the forest. Let's filter by static meshes. Okay, listen. Oh. Did the wrong. Let's come out of the camera. Yeah, it looks better. In the first one, the fire was way bigger, and I didn't like it. But I just didn't understand Niagara. Niagara is the system that... Oh, I need to change my position. There we go. Niagara is the system that Unreal uses for particles and simulations and lots of other cool stuff. And I just didn't understand it at all when I did the first one, but I have a much deeper understanding of it now. So I'm just gonna shut up. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. Oh, I actually really like that. That's perfect. That's perfect. Turn off receive decals. Dude, that is a perfect log. Are you kidding me right now? That's great. So, contextually, yeah, that makes sense. Let's move it back a little bit. Let's not make it as perfect. Let's make it a little more uneven, so it just feels a bit more planted in the world. That's pretty good. Yeah, that works quite nicely. Let's do a bit of set dressing though, because this is great for wider shots, but this just doesn't look very good right now. I don't think this looks good enough. Let's go into unlit mode because it's going to be a lot easier to. I'm just going to start. Let's create. I'm going to delete that, and we're just going to create a folder for these, and we're just going to move all of these into a folder, a new folder, and we're going to call this set and dressing, just so that we're a bit more organized. Let's get rid of stuff we're not using. In fact, let's create a subfolder called lighting and thunder. Only real ones will know that reference. Let's start adding some more interesting foliage. Let's build this out, because this is the basics, but we're not trying to be basic, guys. We're trying to go pretty crazy. I want people to watch this and be absolutely shocked by the level of detail. That is my goal. He's sitting there. Where would it be? Maybe here? I mean, this is quite big. I might have to make this smaller. Even smaller. Yeah, I don't know. That feels quite unnatural. Why would there be a stone there? Maybe. Actually, it's not that bad. as long as I add more of these rocks around the area, it will feel less bizarre. So let's do that. This is my favorite part. It's just set dressing, because you basically are playing with photoreal Legos and you're just building a world. It's pretty sick. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I wasn't. Wow. These aren't. This is color checker. Let's drop one of those here. What's the button again? I always forget. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, that's it. Hidden in game. Nice. Then I can see this is quite useful because this can inform me of my lighting if there's anything, you know, bad about it. So this can be very informative for me in terms of this is what white levels, this is what grey levels, this is what black levels, and this looks pretty good to me. Let's do something. Cool. Okay, so let's add some more brush. Some more interesting. Oh, we got a tree stump. That'd be quite cool. Got a freshly knocked over tree stump. Kind of like that. Feels a bit weird that it's right there though, because it's like, hey, where's the tree? It fell over. Where the hell's the tree? So I think it needs to be a bit further away, and we need to surround it with foliage because it's not, you know, it's not really. Well, I mean, I guess it's still living, but it's not as living as it was. I mean, this is kind of irrelevant because it's not even visible. I mean, what am I doing? But just trying to make things feel a bit more natural. So if you were to catch it by a glance, feel weird. So that's why it's good to have a few different angles. And you can start to see where, like here, for example, this feels a bit out of place. Foliage would build here because if it rained, water would fall onto this rock and drip down and kind of build up like puddles here, which would lead to more vegetation growing in this area, growing around the rock, and there'd be a lot of insects crawling underneath it. And so you need to think about these things if you want your piece to really feel like it's lived in. And oh, why did that happen? Oh, I have snapping on. So yeah, it sounds insane, but you got to think about these things. If you want people to be blown away by the level of detail, you got to be thinking about those levels of detail. You got to be thinking of those things that people go, I wouldn't have even imagined that. It's like, yeah, because nature doesn't imagine it. It just happens, right? It's chaotic. And so you got to research these things, which is tough. Oh no, I think I just pulled in a giant mesh. Yes, I did. This is huge. This is probably completely unnecessary, but I just want to see what I can do, because this might help with the kind of natural progression of this. What does that look like? It looks a little better, I won't lie, except for this hard edge. I don't like that. So I might have to put something there to hide it, but it makes it feel a bit more planted there. No pun intended. Let's add a bit. Let's add some brush. Let's add some vegetation. There we go. Just to make it feel a little more. Now I could be using like there's like a brush tool, which is really great because it basically means you just select the meshes that you want and then you can just start painting. But I find that's only useful for the blanket kind of thing. It's the same with the procedural stuff. It's useful for creating the generic environment, but then when it comes to actually art directing, like what do things look like, it's important for me at least that I really just take the time and go the extra mile to add these details. Yes, it feels ridiculous. Yes, there's a lot of this that people probably aren't going to even notice, but if it wasn't there, it would feel off. And not just to me, because I'm the one making it. It would feel off to a lot of people. They'd be like, yeah, it looks good, but something about it. So I like to take my time to just add some interest to the environment. I think it's important. I think it's very important. So like, it'd probably be bits of vegetation that grew around here. That makes this feel a lot more. Like, how long's this log been sitting here? Did the character just freshly move it there, or has it been there? And if it's been there, then things have probably grown around it. And so, okay, if things have grown around it, then I need to add things around it that would be there. See? That feels a lot more natural and lived in. This was what I was looking for earlier. I really like these. And I always like to give a bit of random rotation because I am using the same mesh over and over again, and so I find that it's important just to add some random variation, you know, just some little tweaks here and there. It just helps it feel a bit more real. That's too big. Yeah, I prefer that over that. What does that look like? Damn, that's quite a big guy. Let's add this guy over here. All of these guys here. I mean, hell, even to be honest, some of this would grow on the rocks eventually. After enough leaves fall from the sky and land here, it would start to, you know, grow vegetation. Because a thick enough layer of the stuff would appear. It wouldn't be anything crazy, anything super luscious in terms of vegetation, but it would be something. And reference is always really great for this. That is way too big. Why is that so large? Where are the small ones? Oh, I see. What are these? Are these like super reflective? Oh yeah. I kind of do like those ones a little more, to be honest. They add a bit. Add something. Just add a little something, you know? A little something. Could add some roots on the ground as well. You know, that's probably going to do a lot for the detail. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, dude, look at that. That singular mesh. Look what that did. How that breaks up. Because this is... this was kind of my issue. Is like, this all feels quite flat and same. Which is okay at the beginning. But you want to break that up. You want to add shadows. You want to add interest. So just this alone. Boom. Look at that. Immediately, that feels more interesting. We're getting these highlights on the specular parts of the wood. And it's like, whoa. And... you know, and it kind of makes sense. There's a tree here, but there's also this massive tree right here, so it probably makes sense for it to have some of this stuff growing around it, you know, just kind of adding a bit more interest. And I really like that. I actually really like it, but I don't want to overuse it. But let's just add one more over here in case it's ever visible. It's not very visible, but it adds something, you know. So this is already looking pretty good. Might place you. You feel a little distracting, unless, yeah, you do. You feel quite distracting. But I don't like this open space, so I'm gonna do something. No, I don't like you. Variation on the ground. See, that kind of works. If we put that there, and then I'm thinking if there's like a fern or something. No, it's too big. Well, I can always scale it down, but I just didn't. I don't like it. No, I thought maybe that would work if I duplicated it, but no, it doesn't. So that's already looking way better. What's cool is, so if we now scroll down and like select all of this and move it to our set dressing, right? That's crazy. Set and dressing. I need to create a new folder and call this dressing, and then we can move all of this in there, because I just don't want to. I just want to see what it looks like without it all. That's crazy. So this is our scene already. Looks way nicer. And then if I hide it all, it's like, sure, this looks cool, but look what just, what, 20 minutes, maybe less, did. Just added so much more detail that just, oh, deja vu, which just looks way more interesting. It just interacts with the lighting in a way more interesting way, and makes it feel like a far more deliberate setup, you know? Okay. I'm just gonna explore a little bit more of some stuff. Just areas that I think stuff would develop. Because I think, like here, for example, you just show a little more love here. What's this look like? Yeah, this bit here. I think we need to spend a little bit of time on here. Make this look a little nicer, because this feels a little on the empty side right now. A little bit on the undirected side. So let's also add in some of those. Where are they? Here. It's these. It's quite interesting. Let's just drop them. That's another thing. It's like, just double check, like, when you're doing something, don't get like tunnel vision and then do a ton of work and then zoom out and realize it doesn't even, you know, it's not even noticeable. I think it's quite important to know that. New. Okay, let's go into the other one. I think we've used this quite a lot, and I want to see if there's anything in here vegetation wise that could be useful to just break up this pattern a little, because I'm not entirely happy with the look right now. It just feels a little, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. It feels like it's lacking direction. Is that doing anything? Yeah, but again, not really interesting. I don't think the rock is actually the issue. I think I'm focusing on the wrong area. You gotta go? Alright, Fia, well, thank you for dropping in. And yeah, hopefully the rest of the stream should be a fun time. Enjoy your Saturday. maybe we add it here. I think maybe detail. Yeah, looks a little more interesting. Like a little bit. Actually, I know I already used it. It might be just the floor feels wrong, you know, like some stuff. I mean, that's helping, certainly helping. Maybe some twigs, you know, like some sticks and stuff on the ground. I feel like that's what we're missing. Just some stuff to break it up a bit, you know? I feel like what are we doing? What is this? Oh, this is another log, a different type of log, but could be something. I mean, it's quite large. Is the only issue, and I feel like with large models, when you scale them down too much, they start to just look like a scaled down thing. I don't know. Let's see what this looks like. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's doing something. Let's explore this a little more. Maybe a bit more of an interesting rotation to it. Feels a little distracting. There we go. That looks a little better. That looks better, but now I need this area to be a lot thicker. This area needs to be a ton thicker. That's the other one. Oh, I am in it. What am I doing? I'm literally... Sorry about that, being a bit of an idiot. What does this look like? Nah, no, I don't like it. Okay, that looks better, but now we need something here. It's a little on the larger side. I don't like these ferns, man. These ferns suck. There we go. That's something a little more interesting. Feels a little more interesting, but now it feels a little heavy here. So we might do that, and then also fill this out with some more stuff. Add some more unevenness to it, like it would be leaning away from the rock, as if the rock is, you know, taking up space, and so they're kind of growing away from it because there's not as much nutrients, maybe. I don't know, I'm not a tree scientist or anything like that, but useful. Nope. Well, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that looks a lot better now. So we have this angle, looks pretty good. Only criticism is this is hitting that. Okay, and then we need to drop the intensity quite a lot. Something like that. There we go. That looks pretty good. I don't know about you guys, but it looks pretty good to me. Feels a lot more lived in, that's for sure. Okay. This is with the dressing, and this is without. With, without. With, without. Pretty cool. I think it's doing a lot. I think it's going to help a lot with just adding a lot more realism into the scene. It's the stuff that you don't think about that really helps make it feel alive. And this just feels already like we're starting at a great spot. Yeah, I have like a character here. If you've watched the first one, you might recognize this setup. But we're going to have someone sitting here, have some stuff placed on this rock, and then we have another character, unbeknownst to them, that will kind of come around here, and then come out, step on some sort of twig, have a bit of a standoff here, and get some, oh, I can actually get some really cool shots here with some vignetting of the stones and the vegetation, so that's quite cool. And then yeah, then they run back away. But this is looking really good, really good. All right, I am pretty happy with that. Having done that, let's. Which one is this again? There it is. Okay, so that's our nighttime setup. And then we have our daytime setup. Let's come back to this and now that we've done some stuff in that other scene, maybe I see things about this that I don't like. That's what's great, is I can always just come back and go, could have done that better. So, see, I don't know. It feels flat. I don't know how else to say it. It just feels. Quite flat. I mean, that's better. I think maybe that's doing quite a lot. That's quite useful. Okay. Yeah, it's growing on me again. Bloody hell, someone's slamming a door outside. Bloody hell. This might be a great. Honestly, I think it's more of a color grading thing. I don't think it's anything I can do here. Because, like I said, we're gonna have lighting, shot specific lighting. So in those sequences, I will have more control over things. But for now, I think this is a good foundation, and then I build upon this shot by shot, and then we'll push things to the next level in the nuke script setup, which will be quite cool once we jump into that. But let me just pull up this readjust. So I'm gonna change. Oh, no. This chair's a lot wider than my previous chair, so I'm like whacking the side of my computer, which isn't great. All right, I'm just gonna pull up Substance Painter now, and we're gonna finalize some of these metahumans, and then once I've got it pulled up, I'll share my screen again. Where was it again? Yeah, there we go. Go back here. Nice. So I have a list on my phone of characters that need to be done. So let me just double check. Okay, so I didn't do. Okay, interesting. Well, technically, yeah, no, we have done that. That one is done. That one is done. Is this the new one? Let me just. Sorry, guys, I'm just double checking some stuff, and then I will share my screen. Just double checking I've done this correctly. Yep. Okay, so we're now on this character. Okay. Cool. Okay, so let's get rid of this guy. And let me share my screen now. And we're just gonna... Let me move that. Maybe I'll do that. There we go. Now I can see it. Okay. This is our character. Gonna take a second to load. But essentially, something that I need to finish doing is creating these sweat materials for characters. It's very subtle, and I doubt it's going to be very visible in shots, but there will definitely be some shots where it will be visible, and it's important to me that I get it right. So this character right now is... Oh, I see. Okay, so let's fine-tune this. And let's hide our directional light. There we go. So this is our next character that we are going to be adding some sweat to. Sounds weird. I believe I have all her materials. Oh, I know the one that I don't have. It is the roughness one. There it is. Asset action, export. Yeah. Assets. No, it's not assets. It's 3D assets, 3D models. That's the character. Which one is it? Slaver 3. There we go. Did I not? Oh, I don't think I ever... Did I not? Texture's there. Okay, need to double check something here. Oh no, we do have a substance painter scene. Cool. Okay, no, that's fine. It will just go here. Cool. Let's close that out and let's open this. isolate the head. So we don't get any of the other weird things. Cool. See, now I need to bloody remember how I did this last time. What did I do last time? Okay. Oh, yeah, I remember now. I remember. So we bring this in, set it as a texture, create a new filler, and then we add a generator, set the generator to grayscale, turn off everything here, come into here, set it to nothing but roughness, and then we come down to our source, we drop this into our source, and we set it from desaturation to red channel, because that's what the roughness path is stored in, and boom, we've got our stuff. And if you remember last time, guys, which, you know, when we textured this, I created my own smart material for sweat. So now you can see sweat on here, for example. This is probably where it's more obvious to see it here, which is pretty cool. But we're going to play around with some things here. We're just going to... No, that is not what I want to do. Keep it like that. It is the tiling. Yeah, it's the tiling. What happens if I make it even bigger? And then it's... Oh, what's the thing again? There's like a... Is it the projection? Oh, yes, it's the offset. Oh, there we go. And then let's go on the front. Actually, this is actually a lot easier if I do this. There we go. That looks weird. Let me change it to a different color. Okay, so this just gives us an idea of what it's looking like. So I can just... What is this doing? Oh, yeah, we don't need that. I'm not too concerned about... Oh, that could be quite cool. And then something like that. That's very intense, though. Okay, so which one is... Oh. Yeah, because that, I quite like this streak of sweat. But then there's not much there. Okay, and then this is where we need to... start removing, because people do not sweat like this. We only want it in select areas. I don't mind it being down the neck, that's fine. People usually sweat there. It's just like these areas, it's not, we never sweat this much. On these areas. Let's just stick to this first, and let's remove these areas. Yeah, there we go. Let's just get rid of... anything that could be around these weird places. She got any weird bits in her ears? We do sweat in our ears, but I just don't want anything that's like really obvious, because it's going to look weird. And I want it to. I want that. set it to an opacity. Let's just calm this all down. So that it isn't distracting. I could be just wasting my time. You know, people might not even notice this stuff. You know, but hey, live by the sword, die by the sword. Yeah, let's calm this all down quite a lot because it's not going to be sweating that much on this area of her. Yeah, that's looking a little better now. A little more subtle. Just a bit more on the realistic side. So the main areas are temples, kind of forehead area. Because typically when we sweat, these are some of the first areas where you can see it on a person. So you can see it doing its thing there. So it's very subtle, but it's gonna do something. I'm hoping that I can find one shot where we can show it off and people will be like, oh damn, he even added sweat. I'll be hunting for that comment. All right, cool. This one's good to go. So let's go to our export. We're gonna set this to our Unreal Engine, 8-bit, 8K. We only need. Do we need our normal map? No, we don't need our normal map. We have a normal map already. Color. I mean, we're only. All right, we'll just do this for safety. And let's just. Create another folder called With Sweat. And let's hit export. Let's just see what that ends up looking like on our character. So while that's exporting, let's go in here inside of the head texture and we'll just find the note. That's it. Roughness global offset post bake. And you can use this to adjust. So I can make it really rough or I can make it really gooey. Gooey. Why did I say that? Weird. 0.001? Ah. Okay. Right. Right. Is that finished? Nope, it hasn't. Just give it a second. Cool, that's finished. Drop this into here and we're going to put this on here, which then initially just breaks it. I don't know why. It's something I'm not doing correctly, but it's okay because look at that, we've got our sweat. It's subtle, but it's doing a lot, I think. It's just, yeah, I think it does a lot in terms of character detail, you know, breaks up that specular. Yeah, doesn't look bad. I mean, let's see. What's it look like from camera view? Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Okay, cool. Right. So that is now done. So you can go bye-bye. And now we're gonna go this crazy bastard. Nice. Okay. Is he where the thing is? No. Let's do that. Go a bit of a nicer angle. Cool. So this will be the next one that we do. Same exact process. But before we do that, okay, yeah. Before we do that, I have to address something. I just heard a knock. So give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, let's jump into this next character. Okay. This is... My days. one is this? 4. Okay. So while that opens, alright, let's just close these out. It's kind of annoying me. Okay. So we need to export this. Nope, still exporting. Oh, there we go. Done. All right, so once again, come to character, isolate, and come here. Turn off the roughness. Makes him look very shiny. Which we don't want. So this is where we come here. There it is. Drag this in. Set it as a texture. And then we're going to create another fill layer. Just going to leave it as roughness. We're then going to add a generator, set it to grayscale, come down here at the source, get rid of color, height, metal, and roughness, leave it as a roughness, set it to the red channel. And so now, yeah, it's doing its thing. Hell yeah. Okay. What is this? Oh, this is all the wound stuff. What is this doing? That's more wounds, more wounds. Okay, this is all. This is all wounds. So we're just gonna put this. Just doing the bloody thing again. Ugh! It's annoying. It does that. Why can't I drop this down? Let me. There we go. Down there, it's getting in the way. Okay, so that's all that now cleaned up. Face dirt. Let's call this base. Cool. Okay. So now we're gonna do exactly what we did last time. Just drop it on. It's not super visible right out of the gate. So let's see where it's landed. That's pretty good, although kind of would like a little bit more of an interesting. No, that's not it. Yeah. Just try and find something. Oh, it just resets. Okay. Never mind. Is it actually doing anything? I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay, it is there. It's just not super visible. would like to flip mirror. Can't see it doing anything right now. What's this doing? Oh, it is. Oh, I see. It's quite literally. Yeah, okay. That's not doing what I wanted it to do. Never mind. Never mind. Yep. That should be fine. In this character as well. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's export. Textures. We need to change this to Unreal Engine. We're not going to export normal. We've already got a normal pass, so we don't need to worry about that. That looks fine. Create another folder. Just exporting. I don't even think I need this. I just need that. That's all we're doing. Cool, it's exported. Let's now find it. There it is. Go away. Let's drop it here. And he's super shiny. And then less so. That feels like too much. That feels better. I might even do that with this one. I think 0.4 is too much. Nice. Okay. So that was my phone. Love that. Just face planted. Okay. So we have 3 more. 3 more. Today's mass. So this guy's now. I am piloting it. What? Am I not? Weird. Okay. All right, let's move on. So you can go bye-bye, and let's bring out you. The hair loading? There we go. Nice. And where is this? There it is. Which one is it? There we go. Asset actions, export. Let's find out where your folder is. There you are. Okay. Copy that. Nice. Okay, let's open another one. Yes, please save. Oh, fun thing, guys. I got a new keyboard. It's very satisfying. And look, see what happens when you like hit different keys? It's like a ripple. But there's one particular thing that some of you might find interesting. Let's see if I can. Can you see it? Can you tell that I'm obsessed with this franchise and that it is consuming my entire life? Anyway, I don't know. Just that is the peakest thing that has happened of recent. Just a little update for you guys. My keyboard before that was actually really old. I'd used it for so long and it was pretty decent. I think I got it for 10 quid and I got it back in 2021, and even though I moved on to this keyboard, that one was fine. That one's still good to go. Like, you could use it. So not bad. Okay. So we're going to do the exact same thing again. I'm not going to narrate the whole thing again because you've already heard me say it twice now. It's just my attempt of filling the silence. Okay. There it is. Right. This. See, I'm getting good at this now. It's like second nature. What's going on? Oh, there we go. That's better. What's that? Huh? There we go. Nice. And let's just drop this. What does this look like? Yeah, I want to do something different here because I feel like my worry is that these are going to become too repetitive, you know? Like, that I don't want people to go, wait a minute, that guy's got the exact same sweat streak as that other guy. Don't want that to happen. Do not want that to happen. So maybe if I scale things up a little, it will. And then I use some of these offsets and try and, I don't know, find something. Okay, that could be interesting. And then no. Something like that. That looks very similar though. You got this. That's a little different. That's a little different. Maybe if it's a bit more down like that. Yeah. A bit more on the side. And then if we paint this back in, so we come down, bring this back. There we go. And then we're going to absolutely obliterate this part, because that just makes no sense. Although I do know that people with bigger noses do struggle with sweat dropping off of it. So I guess it's not completely out there, but it might be a bit distracting for this character, if that's what's happening. Yeah, that looks okay. Come on. Oh no. Oh, it's just these two. Okay. So I'm just talking to myself, I apologize. Let's calm it down over here. Oh. Nope. A little less intense, a bit more subtle. Cool. Right, let's hit save. Still saving. But yeah, and then we'll only have 2 more left, and then that will be all characters, at least main characters, retextured, and it will be the majority of the first 2 environments done for this piece, which means that hopefully next stream we can actually start jumping into some shots. I mean, I'll be working on stuff throughout the week, so whatever is left by Saturday we'll work on, but that could be fun. Okay. Hang on, before let's turn this off. Just see what does that look like. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah, nice. Okay. Export. Unreal Engine. We don't need color, we just need that metallic pass. And then just create a folder for that. Double check. Yes. Double settings. 8-bit. 8K. Yes. Cool. I hope some of this is interesting to you guys. I apologize if it's all boring, whether you're watching this live or watching this post-live. I do apologize if it isn't super interesting. But hopefully after this coming week, we'll have a lot more interesting stuff to work on. This is all the setup, right? This is all the stretching you do before the workout. I need to finalize this stuff before I move on to other things, because once I start actually tackling all of this heavy data with all the mocap and start cleaning stuff up and setting up cameras, and things are going to get very, very complicated and big and overwhelming if I'm not careful very quickly. So it's important that I get it right. Okay. Let's where did I put it? There it is. So let's drop this in. All right. Here. There. So making that the way. You tell there? It is there. You can see it. It's subtle. But it's there. Oh. Yeah, that's actually really nice. You can see it. I mean, I have to hold down the mouse, but you can see it on his temple right there. That sweat right there. It's subtle, but it adds just a little something, you know? It's little details like that that just convince you that it's a person. You know, without those, it still can be immersive, but I don't know, man. I just, like, bit of, like, something I've been inspired by recently is with Markiplier's short film. Markiplier's feature film. I'm making a short film. His feature film, Iron Lung, you know, he took a long time to get that thing right, you know, and rightfully so, because that kind of scale of a project is no joke. But what I always found really inspiring was that he kind of was like, well, once it's out there forever. So take the time to make it right, you know, take the time to really make it the story you want to tell, and then once it's out there, people can enjoy it. So I'm really trying to do that this time. I think with the first one, I was quite rushed to get it done because of the new season of the show. But this time around, I really want to take my time and make this worth the wait and make the visuals as impressive as I can. Right, we are now done with this guy, so he can go bye-bye. And we're now on this guy. Two left. It's less obvious on this guy because he's got a helmet, but I still want to do it because I think it's worth it. Okay, action, export, 3D models. Where is this guy? God 1. Still saving. Substance Painter always takes really long to save. I've never quite understood why, but it always takes a second. Okay, let's just... What's going on here? Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Okay. Cool. All right. Sorry there. I went a bit quiet there. I was just locked in trying to get that one done. Cool. Just save real quick, and then we'll finish setting this up, and then we got one more, and then that will be all of the main characters textured, which would be pretty sick. So let's come back here. It's going to be less obvious because of the helmet, but it's there. You can see it. It just adds just a bit more life, you know, into the character, which is what you want. Damn. It's crazy. Look at all that peach fuzz as well on his cheek. So sick. Yeah, I'm very excited to start doing mocap shots because we've got, you know, we've done the shot and we've done the shoot. It's all recorded. It's just I've got to now put it into the scene. So that's why I'm excited to get this all done, and that next stream I can really start showing some cool things to you guys with some of the shots, and albeit I've got hiccups. I will give out a bit of a spoiler warning ahead of streams going forward, just because we are going to be... Sorry, I just find that funny when you move them, the ponytail moves. Moving forward, we are going to be basically working on sequences that are in the plot, and you guys are going to find out what's happening. So, you know, I'm saying it now for anyone that might be watching. I don't even know if anyone is, but people as well that maybe are watching this post live stream, I will be giving out spoiler warnings going forward so that you guys don't get caught off guard, basically. And if you want to stay oblivious to what happens, you can, and just wait for the final thing, or you can enjoy the behind the scenes of these live streams. One good thing though is that you will be seeing stuff completely out of context, but as you're watching it you will understand the context, so it ultimately just comes down to you guys and what you would prefer to do. Because I know for some people will not want to at all see any kind of spoiler. And then others just won't care, which is all good. What's going on? Okay, there we go. Cool. So get rid of that, and we'll get rid of the roughness there. Channel. Last one, let's go. Nice. Right. Let's find our sweat. Is it really doing anything? It's kind of can't really see it. Interesting. Okay. tone this area down a bit. None here. Go away! Bloody windows, man. Bane of my existence. Okay. Alright, let's play around with this. Because we've got some interesting designs, it seems. This one? There we go. Oh. Got some ear sweat. Let's try and avoid that. Yeah, I mean, let's get rid of that. That feels a bit heavy. I actually don't mind that going down. That looks fine. Let's get rid of the stuff there. Around the mouth feels a little weird. Let's clean that up. In fact, let's clean this up even more as well. So it's really just on the sides of areas where sweat actually builds up. Cool. That's a lot better. So let's get rid of the color and let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Awesome. Okay, so file. Export textures. Let's change this to the Unreal Engine settings. We're going to do this 8K. God 2. I'm going to set. Yep. Cool. Nice. Let's save that. Come back here. Drop this in. Find the face. That look like? Can you see it? Yes, you can. She looks mean. I mean, I designed her. She's meant to look mean. But just looking at her again, I'm like, damn. She's just mean. She just looks mean. Like, if I saw her in a zombie apocalypse, I would not think that she was friendly. I'd be like, oh boy. I'm about to die. Yeah, that's it. You can see it right there. Nice. Subtle, but effective. Is this all saved now? No. Just make sure. just white screened on me. That's fine. All right. We've been streaming for almost 3 hours, and I have not had any lunch or dinner. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you so much, everyone, for who did tune in. I don't think there's... Wait, is there anyone here right now? My thing's a bit delayed, so it's not telling me. It says we have one person watching. Well, thank you, that one person. Thank you for watching. And everyone else that dropped by, thank you all for dropping by. We got a lot done today. 2 environments, done. Lighting, refined, done. All those characters are now finalized. We've got those cool textures all set up. And so I've got a few more things that I'm going to do throughout the week. And then hopefully, I'm sure we will. But basically, around next Saturday, which will be our next live stream, we'll be able to start jumping into shots, working with motion capture, processing the facial capture, building things out, and just, yeah, start making a movie, you know? It's going to be sick. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for taking the time. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, liking the video, having a cruise around the channel. I've got some cool short films and behind-the-scenes videos on there. I've got lots more on the way. You can also follow me on Instagram. We are almost at 20,000 subscribers. I think we are less than 20 subscribers away from 20,000 subscribers. So I cannot begin to express how thankful I am for that. That is awesome. We are also not far away from 10,000 followers on Instagram, which once again, I can't even begin to find words to properly say thank you to you all and the love and the support. I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to show more We Few Survivors Part 2 to you guys. And until next time, in a bit, lads. Take care.